glad that you're here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Love being here, man. It's amazing.
I
Yeah.
want to talk a little bit about your story and everything. I always have a huge respect for anyone that's an urban church planter.
Yeah.
You're in Chicago there, and so I get it. We were in San Francisco, planted there, and it's just a different beast. Not saying it's harder, just saying it's different. Every city's hard. Every
city's hard, man.
But I think your story, the more I get to know it and hear more about it, it's always inspiring because
it's amazing.
You kind of walk through hell, man, and you're still standing. And here's the thing I noticed the other night at the table, and maybe this isn't true of every season for you. Maybe there's been some really hard, dark seasons.
Yeah.
But you just, when you spoke, it was life-giving the other night.
Wow.
It was like, it was someone that's not jaded and bitter and whatever, even though you've walked through some really hard things. But it felt like, man, those are words of life that he's saying.
And also not egotistical and look what I was given and look where I made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have any of that on you.
I think God got it out in a way, like I think the sit-downs. Yeah, because I think I mean, partly I didn't know what I was getting into.
You guys planted when? How long ago?
12 years ago, replanted after COVID again. But our story was kind of hellish in a sense, and hellish for me in a sense that I'm driven, right? And I'm trying to work out these paradigms and these ideals of like, okay, God, like, do you bless effort or is this all your timing?
Ooh.
Am I missing it? Am I not made for it? Was I crazy when I heard you? I thought this was supposed to be easier. I thought I was better. Okay, I wasn't that good.
God.
And then it was things like, I don't know what, I can really say on this, but like in some ways I was just like, if I'm an ass, I could build it faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then I felt like the tension of like, that struggle, that doesn't bring longevity. That's not it either. And I felt like God kind of take me through this season where church was really not moving, and it not moving meant that God got to move me. Yeah. And like my heart started to shift. And I remember once when I was like contemplating, because I was frustrated, I was like, God, like, I don't know that doing it healthy will ever move it.
Yeah.
And I felt like God just said to me, look, what good is it to me to have 3,000 in the front and 10,000 dead in the back?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we have to find a way to do both. And I think tantrums and excuses are just like a lack of commitment of figuring out the way.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And so that was like the journey. And then, man, there were so many rough things that happened. I thought I was awesome. Where
were you at before you planted?
So I was at a church called Generation Church.
Yeah.
And we came out and planted out a Hillsong Church on the Gold Coast in Sydney. And at that point, Phil hadn't gone out to South Africa or anything like that yet. So like there was really no Hillsong campuses that started anywhere. And we weren't even a Hillsong campus, but people were looking for one. Yeah. And so we're on the Gold Coast and we're growing really fast. And I'm thinking, oh man, we're awesome.
Yeah.
But it's that people are looking for something to come out of that place.
Yeah.
Years later, unplanned through unfortunate circumstances, the church goes through a tough season and gets reabsorbed. But I landed off the back of like, I become a zone leader in my young adults at Hillsong, and I don't realize I'm running off 20 years of faithfulness and momentum.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a much better leader than I am, and then
I've been there before.
Right. And it's like running and then you get off a treadmill and you have to really run.
Yeah.
And there's an incline. And so, all of that was a very tough season, but good for me.
Yeah.
How much of it, those first 5 years, did you question your calling, your actual calling as a church planter?
Man, it was like a tug of war. I was saying like earlier that there was this moment where I fasted because I never fasted. I was like, that's a spiritual discipline I don't want to partake in. So like, I was like, not about it. So like I fasted and I came to church that Sunday and it shrunk. It like shrunk again. Like we went from 45 to 30. I'm like, God. And I remember like I was crying on the front row out of anger and frustration, but like something in my spirit jumped up and I said to God, like, even if this takes me to my destruction, I'll stand here. Like I would rather be destroyed in faithfulness and give the devil like a kind of screw you. Than ever like give in. I'd rather die than
You're
give
a
in.
pit bull.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know if it just something rose in that day, but then conversely, you have your moments where you're not strong. And I remember laying there one Christmas, we were on food stamps because we didn't have enough, money to buy to have wages and stuff. And then it just didn't feel like church was going to work. And we're standing there at my mother-in-law's and we're spending Christmas. And for some reason, she bought these bunk beds that were like literally the gap was like this much. So I'm feeling claustrophobic and my wife's laying next to me. The kids went to sleep. And what's running through my mind is like, we failed. This is done. Like, this is not going to work. And I just was like, when you're married, you're like, I hope my wife doesn't realize it's not working.
Yeah.
Because then I really would have failed because I failed in her eyes as well.
Yeah.
And she leans over to me and she goes, what are we going to do? I don't think this is working. And I just bust out crying. And I just said, in the morning, I get emotional thinking about it, but I said in the morning, I'll call Ark, I'll call Chuck, and I'll call Hillsong. And if any of them want it, they can have it.
Wow.
And then I got up and I had a shower, convinced I was going to do that. And then I felt like God just said, give me a year and every 3 months you can pretend you'll quit. And I did. I gave him a year and it turned around. Like it all turned around. That year we grew like crazy. We just started growing. People started coming. And then we're at the height of everything. And my wife was like, this is awesome, but I don't think it's like completely right. Like I think there's some people here that are following us because we're good with our marketing. Huh. And I was like, but we'll turn them into something, Yeah. And then pandemic hit and we got shut down for 2 years and 6 months before we were back at that building. So in that journey, man, there was like 5 years of like, we are made for it. No, I'm quitting. No, God's in it.
Yeah.
No, I'm quitting. And
you almost start to feel a little bipolar. You're like,
you do.
One day you're filled with faith. The next day you're like,
yeah,
questioning everything.
Yeah.
Are you an executive leader looking to level up? Or are you leading a team that could use a crash course into effective leadership? Our Leadership Masterclass teaches 7 essential leadership skills that you can implement immediately with your team. These are practical, proven strategies to help you lead with clarity and confidence. If you're ready to transform your leadership, sign up today at sidecarleader.com and get started with resources that you can use right away.
I'm curious, you've already touched on this maybe like tension that you've had to wrestle with a little bit, but in those seasons, it can be really easy to not only be frustrated with God and God, like, why haven't you showed up?
Yeah.
But to be incredibly frustrated with people.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
And disappointed.
Yes.
In people.
Yeah.
So in those seasons, maybe doing it right or wrong, like how did you lead people not from this place of like frustration, but I don't know, how did you balance that tension?
Man, I'm so thankful. I wanted God to use me big, and I'm so thankful that in those seasons he used me small, because anyone that's known me in those seasons would have encountered a very arrogant me, a very angry me, a very broken me at different times. And thank God that he builds us in the back blocks of life, and what we call back blocks are building blocks. And the grace, I think it's so graceful of God. I think he'll test you through 2 extremes. And I think your character will be tested in wins and your character will be tested in losses. And I think being tested in losses is much kinder than being tested in wins. Being tested in a win is like being tested at altitude. And there's a fall that comes with it. But being tested in lows and through losses is kind. And I think God was kind to me because he's done a lot of testing. That's not done. I'm not arriving. No one arrives. I'm nowhere near it. But like, thank God that the lessons I did learn were in obscure, quiet places. I think that's kind. And I think that the way I dealt with it a bit was like, I ended up on this flight back home, had a friend that passed away. And so I had to go home for the funeral. And I sat on the plane, and the minute I sat on the plane, I complained to God, because we become complainers, and I would say that that's the worst place to be, is you almost feel justified. And I said to God, man, God, I don't even like the church that I'm in right now, that I'm planting. Like, you promised me a different church. And as sharply as I said it, God sharply responded back, and he just said, well, then stop trying to attract people and start trying to attract me, and the right people will follow. And I think I was aware that like I have a wage, that this thing's got to work, that how do we get there? I've got kids. There's no one. I don't ever senior pastor to call and go, hey, we're going to need to raise some money for this. It's me. And I'm like, all right, God. And I became so people conscious. And then God just kind of taught me this lesson of like, you'll never lead what you're too afraid to lose. Man. And I became not a pit bull. I became cautious because I loved the win too much. You know, I wanted to win. It said too much about my identity.
Yeah.
And you got friends that are watching that are cheering you on and saying you're going to change the world. And you're like, oh, I'm not changing anything.
Yeah.
It's changing me and not for the better.
Yeah.
And so that was like a real awakening for me. That shifted the way I think I interacted with people, you know?
Yeah.
Man,
So
that's so good.
Gosh, I have so many questions. I know so much to talk about. I know there was a season. When was it that you were diagnosed with cancer at some point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So like pandemic happens and we really go through it, man. We had like social media slander. Our church is super diverse.
Yeah.
But in that time in America, and as this happens when pain hits, right? Like when pain hits, you turn on the people you know best.
Yeah.
And you hurt the people you love. And people in our church forgot that they loved each other, that they sat with each other, and people looking for me to answers. And I'm like, man, I don't know. Shoot, I don't know. I'm Aussie. I have no idea.
Because you're also leading during this time, like not just a church in the States, but also in Canada.
In Canada.
Yeah.
And we had 2 sites in Chicago. And it was like, I just didn't know. And so that happened. And then during that period, we lost our home as well to a contractor who wrote a lien, challenged it, and somehow like 2 days before Christmas, we lose the house. So I had to sell our family car to pay for the legal fees to then try get this house back, which eventually happened through this wild set of circumstances. And then just off the back of that, I get diagnosed with cancer. And I had a dream and I just thought, oh, that's an interesting dream. And then I felt like while I was in the shower, God just said, why don't you ask me what that means? And when I asked him what it means, he just said, there'll be an attack, but it wasn't warranted. So it'll leave a mark, but it won't take you. And in that vision, it was like, I remember in that dream, I was fighting for my kids. Like before I fought for me, I fought for my kids. And then I closed the door and I like fought this thing and then it left. And, you know, the day that I got diagnosed, I remember like, my kids are out the door. I wasn't planning on getting emotional, but like, I don't care about me. I think my kids, the thought that my kids will grow up without something was the part. So like, I just like shut the door. My wife's like, are you good? And she's in shock. And I'm like, just go. I just need to get my feet under me for a second. And for me, in any big season, getting my feet under me is I just need God to say something. Yeah. And once God says something, I'm good. Yeah. Like I can go to the bank on that. And that's what happened. Like God reminded me of the dream. He gave me the promise and I just stood on it. And honestly, like I don't even feel justified being emotional because there are brave people that go through cancer. And I had a brush. With it. You know, like I got diagnosed by November. I was on the operating table by like 2 years consecutively. Significant things happened 2 days before Christmas. Lost my house 2 days before Christmas the year before. Got it back. 2 days before Christmas, I'm on the operating table.
Wow.
And then Christmas, you know. And
so do you find yourself having a little PTSD when Christmas is coming?
No, I don't. Good. But now that you said it, I might. Like, I never connected the dots until today.
Oh man,
ignorance is a blessing. I try to stay as ignorant as I can. You know, I don't want to think about the odds too much.
Yeah,
you know, because I think you can put more faith in the odds than you do in what God's going to do. And so, but yeah, it was just wild. So that was my brush with that. I'm very like amazed at anybody that really walks it out. There's warriors out there that have really done it big and done it tough. And I feel like whilst my stories had a lot of moments, like God's just been super faithful. Yeah. And so, yeah, it was amazing, man. But it's planning a church. I think the spiritual opposition, I think it's real. I think God uses it, sharpens you, builds you.
Yeah. Here at Sidecar Leader, we don't just develop content that we hope adds value to you. Our bread and butter is really our coaching. If you're feeling stuck as a leader, whether you're navigating growth, strategic planning, staffing decisions, or tackling your toughest priorities, our one-on-one coaching sessions are here to guide you. Together, we'll identify the strategies and steps that will take your leadership to the next level. It's time to invest in your growth because your vision and your team deserve it. If you're ready to get started, you can visit sidecarleader.com/coaching. We can't wait to work alongside of you.
I want to go back to what you said. You'll never lead something you're too afraid to lose.
Yeah.
Like once you got that realization and that revelation, how did that change the way that you led or interacted with it? Maybe it didn't change what you did, but maybe how you held it too.
No, it changed everything, because for me, like, if you won't confront things, they'll eventually confront you.
Yeah.
And so you have a decision when you're going to have collateral. And if the collateral is a decision that there's a family that holds too much weight in your church, and you start formulating messages for them and not for them. Yeah.
We talked about that the other day.
That's an issue. And if there's someone that you're afraid of stepping down off leadership, because if you do, they might take people with you. Yeah. All of a sudden, the people that you're and the things that you won't address are shaping your culture.
Yeah.
And you have to be brave and courageous to shape a culture.
You've abdicated the culture.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. They're designing it because you won't confront it.
Yeah.
And I honestly, so that changed, it was like making calls on things that you have to make. And sometimes I didn't do it, and I paid the price for it. Some of my worst seasons have come from the fact that I was too afraid to lose something.
Same.
Yeah.
And and so it changed.
So good.
It changed that. It changed even like my relationship with success and failure. I think we're like we're success oriented, and I think we're obsessed with fast. Yeah. If it's fast, like I would see more people go talk to the church that's blowing up overnight than the church that's existed for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're obsessed with fast. We're obsessed with instant. And so like I was obsessed with it, and like that. It takes a toll. You build different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think you build wide, and I don't think you build deep.
Yeah.
And I think you start hiring people instead of building people. And whilst when you hire people, you'll get there faster. When you build people, you'll get there faster and further down the road.
Yeah.
And a lot of people know how to hire people. But here's the thing, you can never hire well if you don't know how to build well.
Yeah.
Because discernment needs a standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a standard for what it takes to build someone, then you can't identify someone that's not built yet.
Yeah.
So you'll hire people that you eventually have to fire, or will hurt you.
Yeah.
Or will be bad for your like organization.
Man.
And I think we live in a higher culture because we live in a fast culture.
Mm.
And it's like, no, there is an art to building people.
Yeah.
And that's a skill set that we all have to have.
Yeah.
And part of that art in building someone is being honest with someone.
Yeah.
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 Wow, there's so much.
It's gold.
Yeah. You need to write a little book on that, my brother.
Hey, one day. Hey.
Do you practically, what does that look like for team, you building leaders organizationally? Like, what's that process of building people look like for you?
Yeah, I think it's been a few things. So I think one thing is being uncompromising, unwavering, and unapologetic on culture.
Yep.
And then defining culture. Like culture is a way that we think, feel, and act.
Mm.
So when this happens in this house, we act like this.
Yeah.
Like when this happens, this is how and shaping that, but that takes time. And I've learned that culture can be taught, but it needs and it lives on spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if someone doesn't have the same spirit as you, they're not going to get the culture.
Yeah.
Well, spirit's built on values. So for example, if I value like hard work and actual change, that's going to allow certain cultures to sit well with me and certain cultures not to sit well with me. And I think pointing out people, we often would say to someone, I've heard a lot of people in staff or church or organizations go, oh, they don't have our culture. And I'm like, that shouldn't be your concern because culture can be taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your concern should be, do they have your spirit?
Yeah.
Like, are they gritty?
Yeah.
Are they builders? Will they dig in? Do they love the platform more than they love what they get to do off the platform?
Yeah.
Like that spirit.
Yeah.
And culture won't sit well. So if we've got this cultural value that says heart over gift. Now, we're not saying we don't want gifted people. We're just saying that your gift is not as important as the heart you bring it in. And it also isn't as important as whether you're healthy.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of talented people that are unhealthy that eventually that's just like that's like driving a fast car without bolts on the wheels.
Yeah.
Eventually it's all going to come off and there's going to be a wreck.
Yeah.
And so, well, that's not going to sit well if somebody's got the value of being promoted.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, so like those kind of things. So then I looked at things like StrengthsFinder, which I liked more than I liked DISC because the combination of the vast, like they do 1 in 34 strengths, organize it in the first top 5, then top 10. And the odds of anyone having the same top 5 in the same order is 1 in 34 million.
Yeah.
And why that matters. So my sister was running that. She was doing that for Hillsong Global. And she does it phenomenally. Like Nathan Finoka just wrote a great Substack about how she uses it prophetically.
Wow.
And so I had this one guy on my team that's brilliant. He's the most faithful. He's the best. He's on our exec team now. He runs our college. Like he's an incredible teacher. But for years, I didn't know what to do with him. And in sport, it's easy. Run 100, run a 40, jump, vertical, and you shoot. Okay, you're a point guard. Like, it's easy. But in leadership, to say someone's driven is not enough.
Yeah.
Because there's many different people driven, but it expresses in such a multiplicit, arena of ways. So it was like, well, how do I know? And she looked at him and she goes, hey, Chris, I just want you to know this guy's gold, but he won't make sense to you much bigger. His gifts won't make sense to you like over 1,000. He's not a doer. He's got an incredible mind and he's astute and he will help you form and forge culture and he will remember things and he's a strategist, but you're going to have to find how to steward him. And that wouldn't have happened if I didn't have an internal mapping of people.
Yeah.
And so we do that at our growth track now. Everyone that does our growth track does StrengthsFinders. They pay for it. They do a spiritual gift analysis, and then our app that we built pairs them with serve options that would be aligned with their strengths.
Yeah.
And so just having things like that you don't write people off. And again, that goes back to the first thing. If you want to get there fast and you're not running quick enough, we got to go.
Yeah.
But they're spiritually a toddler.
Yeah.
So what? I only want adults? Well, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because they're never going to be raised in my house. What I want is people grafted that bring gifts.
Yeah.
Instead of building people that will actually take this further.
Yeah. That's so good.
Is your team ready to thrive? Do they have the resources and clarity that they need to succeed? In our team coaching sessions, we provide the tools and principles needed to drive health and growth, and most importantly, clarity in your organization. We believe that clarity brings the confidence to lead effectively. So many times we're too close to the problems to see them correctly. And through coaching, we're able to bring objectivity and no emotional attachment to help you see your organization clearly. Together, we'll develop a strategic path that empowers your team to implement best practices and take on new challenges with confidence. Let's unlock your team's potential. Want to learn more? Head over to sidecarleader.com/coaching and let's talk about your goals and how we can help you accomplish them.
I love how you talked about building culture on values and the difference of those. What do you do when someone maybe they come in, they haven't been part of your church, and they come in and you just notice their culture that they're bringing is outside of who you are, or someone on the team? How do you defend the culture that you're trying to deliver?
So I would liken it to this. I guess my first real dad stage was I got obsessed with the lawn. Like we bought this house and my wife was like, she wanted this nice lawn, and I just like, fine, I'll do it. And then I get obsessed with things. I'm obsessed with golf right now. I get in. And so I was doing this lawn. I was all in on lawn care. It made me feel so old. Like if I just had a beeper on like one of those phones on the belt, I would have him. And one of the things when I was learning, it just kind of spoke to me, as cheesy as it is, but I was trying to figure out how do I stop weeds from being in the lawn. And I was reading this article and it said, well, the reality is that the goal is not to use weed killer. The goal is to build such a healthy lawn that there's no room for weeds to penetrate. And that spoke to me. And I was like, you know what? A lot of people will focus more on the threats than the soil.
Yep.
And it's like, you know what? Build strong culture, and the culture itself will reject the things, and it will protect, and it will teach. And that's what has to happen. I can't be everywhere, but I could teach and bring a culture that's thick enough that the culture corrects. And the cool thing is this, people will leave if they don't like it. And I think too as well, honestly, I think we're so success oriented as well that we love all the verses where Jesus is amazing and everyone like follows him, but we don't pay any attention to the amount of times he was rejected.
Yeah.
And I know pastors and friends of mine that go to therapy over the people that leave their church.
Yeah.
But the reality is you grow by who leaves as much as by who stays.
Yeah.
Because if the wrong person stays, they're more detrimental than anything. And I think when you have culture and you're upfront about your culture and think about how is culture passed on, it's got to be spoken to. It's got to have mantras. It's also got to evolve. People say culture doesn't change. Yes, it should. It's alive and living. So it should mature, refine. And if you're getting really, I think if our thing was, if we could focus a lot on our culture, then people will be able to taste it quickly and choose whether they stay or go.
Yep.
And that's good for us.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the last thing I would say on culture is there's this wave of, I think people are hungry for authentic, and that's a very good thing. And people are hungry for like, just give me good Bible teaching because I've been cheated a few times. You know, I think that's prevailing culture. Yeah. That's why people are flooding back to traditional kind of style looking churches. But we've, I think, overlooked culture in that because we think culture is a leadership idea. But I think it's a biblical idea because the Bible says be like the Bereans. Okay, cool. We can take something from that they pass things through the word of God, but we also know that was a unique culture to them.
Yeah.
The Macedonians were what? Generous. Like, do you know what I mean? There was cultural things, and I think that where this global body, I think, what is it? G.K. Chesterton says, like, where this like paradox of, universal and local and ancient and modern is the church. And I think there's this like expression of the church. Each local church we have is an expression, and each part has a part of kingdom culture in it. And I think we shouldn't feel apologetic about owning culture as pastors because it's not in lieu of good teaching.
Yeah.
It's the portions of good teaching that we're going to fly the banner on.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that's up front.
Yeah.
I want my product to be sampled at the front door.
Yeah.
So that I limit how many are leaving through the back door.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
That's so good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how many churches or how many pastors are trying to copy another culture
yes.
rather than discovering from God, who have you called me to be?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder, speak to that a little bit. Any thoughts on that?
I think there's a fine line between admiration and imitation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think still like an artist is like that common kind of book. I think there's something to that, but I think you've got to, I think you got to know you. You've got to get honest between you and God. You got to get let the times reveal that, because sometimes what we actually want, we're coveting another person's gift, and other times we want what they've built, but we've got to kind of go, well, that part sits well with me. And I think you just got to find the ability to be honest and have good awareness.
Yeah.
Because if you're imitating something, it's never as good as the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's so funny. We Nathan and I lead this small group back home. And we launched it with a curriculum, and it's a great curriculum. It's working in a lot of places, but we're just like, dude, this isn't us.
Yeah.
It's not who we are.
We can feel it.
We feel it every time. And so we've been talking about it this week, like what we're pivoting towards. It is like, what would we be doing with a group of guys on a Thursday night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because that's who we are.
Yeah.
But I think we were seeing the success of this particular system.
Fruit from it. Right then.
Yeah. But there's a ton of churches that are doing it, and it's like, it's working for them, but it's just, it's not who we are. And we know it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you almost feel like, I don't want to say fake, but you're just like, you're putting on
Yes.
for a particular outcome.
Yeah.
But you're never going to get that outcome because it's not really.
But do you think that's part of the process, is that you've got to try on some things that don't fit?
Yeah.
So that you can know what does fit?
I think so. I mean, all of us, who we are today is we picked up things from other leaders and other churches along the way. And I think sometimes you experience people, certain leaders, certain cultures, and you're like, the learning from this is that's not who we want to be.
I like that. I like the fact that it fits, right? Like, I think sometimes you know yourself well enough to know that doesn't fit at a distance. And then other times you've got to be honest enough to go, this doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And conversely,
Not just I want this to fit.
Yeah.
It does not.
and then it's also okay if you put it on and it does fit.
Yeah.
Like that's, I think, why we run in circles of people that like are like spirit and inspiring to each other.
Yeah.
So I connect with you guys. Like there's an aspect that like, there's going to be things I pull from you that are just like, oh, and that fits. And there's going to be other things I'm like, man, I love that, but that's just not my grace. Yeah. It's not in this city, and maybe it's for later. And what I find that's beautiful as well is try to get to the mechanics behind the very thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
Like if you can get to the soul of it and the spirit of it and that's something you can take away.
Yeah.
That's right.
In a better way than the actual look.
Yeah. That's real.
What if your team had a clear roadmap for the next 12 months on what was most important, complete with objectives, key metrics, owners, and deadlines? And not only that, but also the accountability to see the plan through. Through our team planning offsites, we're able to help you unlock and identify where you are, where you want to go, and how to get there. With a focus on goals, key metrics, and actionable strategies, we'll build a plan that keeps you on track all year and provide the accountability to ensure that you execute what you planned. If you plan your work and you work your plan will work if it's a good plan. If you're ready to set up your team for success, clarity, and a clear roadmap moving forward, you can go to sidecarleader.com/coaching and let's make your vision a reality.
I love that you are such a builder. You have so much grit and resilience to plant round one, go through the things that you went to. Say if this thing destroys me, I'm still going to go down with it.
Yeah.
And then to go through COVID, go through cancer, losing your house, and then to replant again after COVID. Like, I just love that resilience and that grit that you have. It's inspiring. And one of the phrases that you said the other night that I thought was so good, I would love for you to expound on a little bit, is use what you've got to get what you need.
Yeah.
I thought that was so good. And I would love just to hear the story behind that and how that splashed itself out.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I just feel like I also should say, like, man, my wife is a big portion of this. She builds with me. She's active in ministry with me. And she's let's go. She's like, oh, there's a war there. Let's go fight it. Like, she's with me on it. So that gives you confidence and courage. I feel like if I got her, just kind of like that Me and My Girlfriend song, kind of thing. So like I got that. But the phrase you said was like, I'll get use what you have to get what you need.
Yeah.
I think we realized, like, I would say my wife was afraid of doing ministry in Chicago, and she just knew it better than me. So ignorance was bliss for me.
Yeah.
But she needed faith.
Yeah.
And I think she just knew how difficult it would be. And she would be like, well, where are the people going to come from? Where are we going to find leaders? Where are we going to get this? And I was like, I would just often tell her this phrase that would rise in me, which was, everything is built and nothing is given. Everything is built, nothing is given. So like, if I'm not looking for charity, I'm not walking through our conference rubbing shoulders hoping you're going to be the person that promotes me or gives me or sows. No, like, nothing is given, everything is built.
That is a mentality. That is a mindset right there. You've got
So
it.
Yeah.
It was like, done, let's build. So it was like, all right. So we launched with $50,000, right? This is a practical example of how it worked. We launched with $50,000, and out of that $50,000, we had to pay the school's rent, our wage, do the flyer that we used to do. Don't know if it's still done. Buy a sound system and do all the marketing and stuff, right? And I was like, man, I don't know how that works. But we were in a school that had a performing arts kind of title to it, but they had no performing arts center. So I went to the principal and I just said, hey, would you consider, we will deck out your auditorium and make it performance arts ready, and we will donate a sound system to the value of this with labor and all the rest of it. And then if you will give us a year of free rent, so in lieu of rent, we'll do this for you.
Yeah.
And then we said, as long as you don't kick us out within the first 2.5 years of us being here, you keep it. If you kick us out before that, no matter the reason, we take it with us. So I wanted to hedge my bets and protect myself if we got kicked out early, because, a new church plant with volunteers are going to annoy some people. And I knew that was going to come. So we're going to break some things, and I knew that was happening. And so she said yes to it. And that allowed us to subsidize like some sort of pay coming into Ords and I, buy a sound system, which we had to buy anyway. And then I knew that we would outgrow that sound system. Yeah. So I didn't need it in 2.5 years anyway, whenever we moved to the next building. And so that was this idea of use what you got to get what you need. And the second thing was like, look, I can't build a launch team because I don't know anyone in Chicago. And Chicago is just different. Like, I'm not going to go out and have coffees with people that don't want to talk to me. But what is Chris good at? And what's Ord's good at? Well, my wife's a phenomenal worship leader and she's got an incredible voice. And I'm like, we know how to build a service off little. So we're going to build a service, and that service is going to bring people in. And then we're going to pair it with an internship in a college, and we're going to teach people how to do leadership and ministry. And we're going to launch all those things at the same time. So we're going to basically create a net, and then we're going to clean the fish up as they come. And like, that was our strategy. I don't know business people, and I'm not good. Yeah. Back then, I was hurt with the money thing because I saw it done poorly, and I didn't want to be that guy. It was my own problems I had to overcome. One of my biggest failings in ministry that I had to learn how to overcome. But like, I knew I could build a service, and I knew I had a worship leader with me that I could count on. And I knew I could do Sundays, and I knew I could turn people that come through the door into something, because I don't need you to be ready.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm very happy to go like digging for gold in a lot of dirt. Yeah. And that was what we used, and we used what we had to get what we needed.
Because a lot of times it's so easy as a leader to wait for what you want rather than work what you got, you know, and then sit there and make excuses of why you can't but I love the scrappiness, the innovation, the creativity. Creativity is not just art. Creativity is the ability to solve interesting problems. And I just love everything you just said. It's so good.
And I think that we get angry at God, and essentially what we do is we chuck a spiritual tantrum and we hold the vision hostage.
Wow.
And we start into a negotiation. You give me more leaders and all. You give me more money and all.
Yeah.
And it's like God's like, no. Because God's glorified in the odds. Yeah. And we want to limit the odds at all costs. I would just say to any church planter, stop mitigating and start moving.
That's great.
Because you want to hedge everything.
You do.
And you're moving God out of the picture. You want to launch with, like, when I see guys that want to launch with $4 million, I'm like, hey, God bless you. But like, I don't know if you know how to make it on 50, that you know how to use $4 million. If you can't use $50, I don't think you really know what to do with 4 million. Yeah. And everyone I've met that, now I don't know, I don't have a vast, but I've met a lot of people that have started with a lot.
Yeah.
And it's the lottery mentality.
Yeah.
You win the lottery and you're broke again soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's merit in just not holding it hostage and letting the odds speak and bring your lowlights out.
Yeah.
No one's impressed about the highlights. It just makes the distance and the disparity between us and the congregant and the church person and the broken person and the addicted person look that much bigger. Yeah. But people, your fruit will speak for itself.
Yeah.
But you know what really speaks? The part that makes the fruit, I think it's the enhancer. It's increasing the exposure on the art, if you will, on the fruit, is when you speak and preach and be open from your lowlights. Because then it's like, if God can do that with you.
Yeah. That's what builds people's faith.
That's what builds people's faith. But we're in a highlight culture.
Yeah.
Everything's contrived and everything's like curated. And that's why TikTok's TikTok.
Yeah.
Because it's got no curation.
Yeah.
It's just people with cameras and terrible dancers. Yeah. It's like, so I don't know. That's kind of
Chris. I just am so grateful for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that you came on this trip and you shared a ton of wisdom today.
Yeah.
And
all trip you have.
When I'm around you, I just feel super inspired, man. I think what you guys have, what God has built through you, through your faithfulness, through your hard work, man, it's really inspiring. It's beautiful, man. And I think one of the things I love about you is, yes, you're like a pit bull, you're scrappy, but you don't come across as brash or proud, like prideful, like you have such humility about it.
Pastoral heart.
Yeah. And so we're just grateful for you, man. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. And I just want to kind of, just thank God, thank God for his grace and his goodness, because I just never want to get to any win or any moment and have anyone think that it's under the pretense of gifted or leadership or take credit. I don't want to ever promote strategies. I want to be able to say, you know what, by the grace of God.
Yeah.
And I'm just thankful for you boys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the trip. And
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Appreciate you.
Great.
What you going to do the rest of the day? You're going to catch some fish? You're going to go ride some horses here at Camp Sidecar?
I want to be a horse riding guy, but like,
can't you know what?
It's a big animal and I don't want to die.
Scary. It's a little scary.
I'm doing that by faith today. It is not relaxing for me to ride a horse, but I know last time I did it on this trip, it was one of my highlights. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it for
I hear the views are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking of doing it for that. I was thinking that or fishing and, or I had a friend fly out to come and do something. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. It'll be fun.
We're glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.